what sets you apart as a brand is having an informed point of view. It doesn't have to be 100% different from everyone else just for the sake of being different, but you need to have a point of view. And I think also with the brand, authenticity is an overused word, but just like at the beginning of this conversation, you alluded to something about money beliefs. I don't know the story, but I'm sure maybe it's been told before. Or like my POV about marketing and the foundation of a brand and the importance of content. That is strung together over time. Some people say you should never give away content or value for free, because if you give it for free, why would they pay you? That's the opposite POV that I have. So you have to put that kind of stake in the ground, and you will turn off some people.
Hello, everyone. I am Brittany Mason, your host of The Alternative Mason, and I'm thrilled today because we have a very special guest, one of my personal favorites, Emily Binder. She is the founder of Beetle Moment Marketing and Wealth Voice, the top voice of AI marketing app and financial services. She's a lead strategist, speaker, and consultant for firms like TD Ameritrade and Dimensional Fund Advisors, helping advisors and executives simplify their brands through smart tech, voice, and authentic storytelling. With 15 years of experience at the intersection of finance, branding, and innovation, Emily is known for helping people turn noise into influence and for reminding us that money, like marketing, is a mirror and not a monster. Very excited to have you on, Emily. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
You're welcome, Brittany. I'm happy to be here with you.
I think you are just such a brilliant mind in the industry, bridging marketing and finance together. I first met you at the Jolt conference a few years ago, and I really enjoyed, your talk and your style. What drew you to the industry in the first place? How did you get started?
I've always been a student of markets and behavioral economics. I was a psychology major, actually, but I had a marketing career where I was working in all kinds of industries, different categories like entertainment, travel, telecom. And then I had clients in financial services when I started my consultancy, Beetle Moment, 8 years ago. It was actually Ritholtz, and that was my first RIA client, which is kind of a cool one to start with. And I really liked just learning about kind of wealth management, and that got into funds and other areas of financial services, but had always the marketing and the voice marketing background, like the podcast space I've been in since I think 2012.
Wonderful.
I like the industry. I like talking about money. I think it's such a taboo and a stigma, and it shouldn't be.
Yes.
Because essentially money is a neutral tool, but it's so loaded and so activating, unfortunately. And people need to feel better about it. They want to. Right?
Yeah.
There's so many things that, like, it's a ricochet effect of good things in relationships, in society, in the economy, when people understand money better, feel better about money, talk about it more openly, manage it in a positive, healthy manner.
Absolutely. Right? And I'm sure, with your history of psychology and the relationship with money, we all have a relationship to money, and it starts very early on. And I mean, how that shapes us is everything. And I know a lot of people have a lot of trauma when it comes to their relationship with money, which is why I think that it is such a taboo subject. I'm one of those people, actually. And I think that for me, my personal journey into finance was very unique as well. So Jolt was my very first finance conference. And I would say, marketing has always been, for sure, something that's more easier to come into rather than finance, just because of my personal history with money. And so I had to really get over that. And so for our listeners, what would you say about, because so many people are intimidated, I think, getting into the financial industry and building that relationship to money, what would be your advice to people that perhaps have a traumatic relationship with money?
Do you mean like an everyday person, or
anyone? Okay. Because we have a very eclectic type of audience.
Okay.
So,
Great, great. I actually have a real place in my heart for especially young women when
yeah.
it comes to money. Like, here's what I would say. This audience I think is interesting, and I've made content on YouTube for years, really, that was directed toward like people just out of college or someone who wants to start a business. Um, the thing is, stop looking at social media so much because it's going to make you feel like you're behind. Okay, so we've seen stats that have come out the last couple of weeks about the average age of first time home ownership, I believe, is roughly 38, whereas it used to
Mm-hmm.
be like 26,
Mm-hmm.
20, 30 years ago. And so things are delayed. It's happening later. It's harder to afford these things that our parents who had like a middle management basic job with a house and 2 vacations a year and a new car every couple of years. It's just things have gotten a lot more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people feel behind and they feel shame, but then they also have this keeping up with the Joneses and sort of the external tenets of what looks like wealth. But then you actually start to see that loud luxury is now what poor people do. So the whole thing is different. Um, I guess the advice though is really, even if you think it doesn't amount to anything, like it's $20 or $50, if you're 20 years old, just like automate
Automate.
$50 a month. Automate, you'll
Automate.
never miss it. You think it's not worth doing because it's so little money. Just Google compound interest. Google it and calculate it.
Yeah.
And there's that new, what's the name of it's Gerstner with the baby money, baby wealth. What's that government program where all the kids now get like $1,000 or do you know the one I'm talking
I'm
about?
not familiar with
It
it.
was
No,
this was
not
a couple
familiar.
years ago at Future Proof. I saw him and I think he was with Josh Brown on stage talking about the idea of it and now they're actually doing it.
That is fantastic.
So
Get started.
everyone that's born gets, I think it's like $1,000 or something. It's invested into the market. You can't touch it until a certain age and you can only take it out to put a down payment on a home, to pay for education, things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's compounding. So
Compound.
then
That's key.
people feel like a lot of people feel like they started playing Monopoly like in the purples and they're never going to get to the boardwalk. Like I have $4, I'm never going to catch up. And this
Mm-hmm.
gives people that sense of, wait, I have $100,000. I'm 21 and I had this account since I was a baby.
Yeah.
Like I can play in this game. I'm in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I wish I would have started young.
Start young. That's it. And even if
Start
it's
young.
$20, like you think it doesn't matter, it all compounds. The younger, the better. Start yesterday. And when the other thing is people are like, what do you mean start? Where do I do? How do I do it? Just buy SPY, buy an ETF, buy a simple ETF. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to get complex with picking stocks. Don't do that. Gambling, horse betting, same thing.
What was your first job? I just get this feeling that you've always had a very entrepreneurial spirit.
Uh, well, I guess I have, but I did work in corporate for like 10 years, all my
Okay.
20s. What was my first job? It was in the entertainment company. I worked for Premier Exhibitions. So I was the early social media girly for all these like touring exhibitions like Titanic, the Artifact exhibition, Bodies, the exhibition.
So you've been on social media since the birth, really, and
Yeah.
seen the
Yeah.
evolution of it and the success that you can have with it from utilizing it.
Right. It was like 2009 and I
Mhm.
had no experience. I 22, 23. They said, "Oh, you can run the Twitter account and the Facebook. It doesn't matter. Give it to the 22-year-old." So, yeah, it's been the whole time
And you're
it's
so
grown.
well spoken too. You speak often. How did you get over your fear of public speaking? Or has that just something that's always come natural to you?
There's always fear. You'd have to be actually a psycho to not feel any sense of fear when you get on stage because tribally on an animal level when we are performing for a group we are on trial for our life because back in tribal societies the only time you would present to the group is when you were arguing to not get banished, like you were on trial and you're arguing your case, don't throw me out, because then you would starve if you got thrown out of the group. So that's why it feels like life or death when you get on
Yeah.
stage. And you get over it, it gets easier every time, but you should feel a little butterfly in the stomach inherently.
Yeah.
You're performing, and we're
Yeah.
wired to seek approval from the group because it's linked to survival. But I think if you just know that you're adding value or helping people or inspiring them, then that's a motivation that helps you to get over the fear. If you're coming from a selfish place, it's probably harder to get over that fear.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have a pep talk or any superstitions or anything that you do before you go on stage?
There's that, I don't know it was like a TED talk about body language. So if you go like this, like
Thumbs
I'm
up.
the queen of the world, you go in the bathroom and do that for 20 seconds before, and you like
I like
feel
that.
the strength and you spread your body out bigger, take up more space,
Opening your heart chakra. I'm very into
open the heart,
chakras and
open the
energy
heart.
work. So you're
Yeah,
literally opening
absolutely.
your heart
Yeah,
chakra.
yeah, just go do that. And it does help. Beta blockers, I don't know, whatever works.
So tell
Practice, like know your material. That is huge.
yeah.
Practice way more than you think you need to. That's the other thing, Brittany. I've been wanting to say this for a while. What is it with, I don't know if it's just in financial services, but there's people want speakers who are speaking for free.
Yeah.
Speak for free
Yeah.
at an event where they're selling tickets.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay the talent? That's wild to me. I don't speak for free. There's no way.
Being in okay, because you come from entertainment, I also came from an entertainment background.
Yeah.
This has always been a thing for talent, actually, in my opinion. I mean, in my experience, is talent always gets gypped, like the model or the actor. I feel like you have to really fight for your pay. So, how do you advocate, actually? How do you advocate for yourself for a raise or more appropriate pay, especially as a female? Have you found yourself in
Hmm.
those positions?
It's interesting because you think when you have your own business, now you don't have to like ask for a raise and
Yeah,
you don't have to answer to anybody. Everybody answers to somebody on some level.
so true.
If you are selling something in the world doing commerce, we are trading money for goods or services.
Hmm.
You're answering to the customer in
Hmm.
ways. So to answer your question, I take the emotion out of it
Hmm.
and just have a rate, have even a range and be flexible on it, but just be like, this is what it costs. This is the value that I'm bringing. When you're first starting out, you should speak for free. You need a reel. If
Hmm.
you're young and you want to speak, like I have a reel, you can go to emilybinder.com/speaking and see it's years and years of doing this. And then you can start to say, this is my rate.
You
When you
need your
first,
resume. You need a
yeah,
portfolio. You need to showcase that you can actually do the work
yeah.
and how your style is.
I spoke for free for like a year when I was getting started, however
Hmm.
long it was 8 or 10 years ago, which is fine. But then at some point, I've noticed this, and I think it's so bizarre, but I wanting for someone to come to your event and being like, oh, we'll give you a free pass to our great event, but you're going to speak for free. You're the draw, you're the content. In
Yeah.
what other world would that? And they're like, well, it's an ad for your business. No, it's
Yeah.
not. I'm not here. I'm not doing a commercial for Beetle Moment or Wealth Voice. That's not what I do on stage. So
Yeah.
that's something that I've noticed. It's like there are events that I was
Paying
flown
you an
to.
exposure. And it's like, you don't need that exposure. You've already built your brand.
Exposure is always nice,
Yeah.
but there's something odd going on. I don't know if it's like an economic thing or if it's a cultural thing, but there are events that I was flown to, put up in a hotel and paid to speak at that now like don't pay speakers. I'm not going to mention,
Mm.
but
Mm.
it was wild to me. So
So know
much
your
like,
worth, know your value.
yeah, yeah. Just come from that abundance mindset. And there's no bad blood. It's not like an angry thing. It's like, okay, well, I guess it's not a good fit. You want free
Hmm.
speakers, you get what you pay for.
Hmm. I read a story yesterday, actually, of a woman who heard about a male colleague that was making significantly more than her doing the same job. And so she just simply, called in a meeting and asked the company, are you practicing fair pay, gender equality and fair pay? And they said, you know what, that's a great question. We'll get back to you on that. They came back to her and they actually gave her a $60,000 raise, all because
Nice.
she just asked that question. So learning to advocate for yourself, speak up for yourself, and like you said, take the emotion out of it.
Yeah. One other thing, Brittany, if you said you have kind of a mixed listener base,
Yeah.
but just to go back to like you said, how do you advocate for a raise or anything like that? Taking the emotion out of it is good. I'm not saying don't be in your feminine energy. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to cry at work.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It means you care.
Yeah.
But with that sort of that conversation, I found when I was in corporate, if I ever wanted to ask for a bump in compensation, you need to quantify how you either saved the money or made the money. It's a business case. It's not, I have a great attitude and you like me and I'm always on time. It's like, I saved you all of this money. You were wasting time before me. Here's how or I made you this additional revenue, put in a deck.
Here's
Like
how I was
track,
the solution. Here's how I
yeah,
resolved this. Yeah.
track your successes, achievements, anything quantifiable.
Mm-hmm.
Quantifiable. We're not talking qualitative. Track it as you go. Have a deck, have a folder, whatever, Google Drive, and then put it in a deck when you're ready to like go to your boss and set the meeting. And you want to discuss this. Do some research. What are the comps? Look at Glassdoor, and then you can always go somewhere else. But if you do go somewhere else, you should be getting a bump in pay.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the overall comp, like you look at it 360, right? It's not just the pure salary. Like there's bonus, there's matching, there's equity. So you should be advancing unless the move is something that the lifestyle is so great you're willing to take a cut, which is a thing too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like how you mentioned you can still stay in your feminine energy. What does that look like to you in business?
I was talking with my mentor, Sandra, a weekend or two ago. I was in Atlanta and I saw her, and she's been my mentor for like 15 years. And I said to her, what was that story you told me about the time you cried at work and like why it was okay to do that? And she said, here's what it was. So this was probably 25 years ago or more. And she was in a role related to, I believe it was like accounting at a financial firm. And she had a male counterpart and they had the same job, the same responsibilities. And they were both vying for a certain promotion. There was only one spot open. And then their boss, it turned out, was kind of messing with both of them and gave it to neither of them. And the man's reaction after, trying so hard, working so hard for months to get this promotion and not getting it, he started throwing things across the room, like slamming file cabinets, tossing papers all over. You could hear this kerfuffle going on in his office.
Outburst.
And Sandra went to her office and she started sobbing, just like, oh, you just lose it. And these are just different reactions.
Yeah.
To the same situation, and they're both, I mean, you should not throw things.
Yeah.
But she's like, it's okay because I felt that. And I guess to be in your feminine energy at work, it can be kind of difficult because by definition, business is a masculine endeavor. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying women aren't good at it. I'm saying if you look at the yin and the yang energetically, what is masculine is the sun, the feminine is the moon. Mm-hmm. The masculine is like generative, creative, and the feminine is more intuitive and in flow. So yeah, we need both. They're complementary.
Yes.
So having the intuition and, maybe like a little bit of a nurturing or a communal and EQ is useful in business for sure. But you also need the sun.
Yeah.
To grow and get things done.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk more about your company that you started, Beetle Moment Marketing. What's the name? I'm so curious about the name. I got to know the story behind it. How did you come up with the name?
Yeah, the name is actually a reference to a moment of synchronicity. So Carl Jung, who is the Swiss psychiatrist, he was a contemporary of Freud. He was all about archetypes and the collective unconscious, which I was really into when I was in psychology in college. And I read this book that Carl Jung had written about this patient he had that was very difficult to reach in the sense that she was so rigid and sort of intellectually stiff in a certain way. And he was trying to open her mind to archetypes and more going on. And it's like, lay down, tell me about your dream. Let's try that. And so she closed her eyes. She started telling me about the dream. She said, I had a dream that my husband gave me this golden scarab beetle jewelry, like a necklace. And right as she was describing it, there was this tapping sound on the window. And he looked and he's like, oh my gosh, it's exactly the same beetle that you were just describing in the dream. And he kind of grabbed it and said, like, here's your beetle. Now, do you believe me? There's more going on. There's synchronicity. It's like when the universe winks at you. So I always remember that story. And I was trying to name my business. What I'm going to do, Emily Binder Consulting. Okay, great. It's not memorable.
Yeah.
Not interesting. So I try to name things with either an animal or a color when I can. there's reasons that it just sits in the mind a little better. And then I thought of the Beetle moment, a moment when the universe winks at you. That's what it
I
comes
love
from.
that. I love that story. When did you start? When did you launch your business?
It was 2017.
2017.
Was that 8 years? Yeah, eight
And
years. So that's the marketing company. And then Wealth Voice is my SaaS tech. I guess it's a startup. I mean, it's 5 years old. So what do you call a startup at this point? It's a late stage startup. 2020, right at the beginning of COVID, started building that, got that launched in September of 2020.
what was that like launching a business in the pandemic?
So bizarre. So it was the weekend. It was in March. It was my birthday weekend, 2020. And I was supposed to fly to New York to speak at Verizon on the Monday. And it was like the Friday night. And my contact there said, it looks like the city's shutting down. We're just going to have you dial in from Zoom. So I got paid the full speaker fee to go on a Zoom call. It was okay. This is great.
That's
Uh,
fantastic.
but actually, this is not great because we're going into a pandemic.
Yeah.
And I'd had the idea to build an easy way to share your voice on smart speakers like Alexa and Siri, and at the time, Bixby and Cortana. What if there was an easy way, like WordPress or Squarespace, manage your website easily? What if there was an easy way to manage your voice, your podcast, your everything that's on AI voice assistants,
Yeah.
smart speakers, TV, everything? So that's what the idea was. And then started getting that built during COVID. It was a nightmare, Brittany. I was crying like every day. And the people, I've never told this story. The team that I hired, the original developers, they kind of ghosted me at one point. There was like a month where I couldn't get a hold of them.
Oh
I was
my
I
gosh.
was pretty far, like I had spent money to build this thing.
Yeah.
They're ghosting me. It's COVID. I'm locked in my house. I hadn't had a hug in 4 months probably. Uh, and then I said, okay, I had to do some psychological warfare to kind of get them back and finish the project, which looked like sending them a Harry and David gift basket. You know, you win more flies with honey than
Yeah.
vinegar.
Yeah.
So then once I got the code to where I needed it, like MVP, I was like, change the passwords overnight, get a new development team, goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was terrible. It was so hard, but that's what it is. That's what it is. It's a startup.
So as far as this AI and voice, what are your feelings then? You're obviously pro AI then. So what are your feelings with how the world is evolving with AI and how rapidly? I just saw the comparison of that first generation AI video of Will Smith eating spaghetti in comparison to what it was in 2023 to what it is now. It's so drastically different, in just a couple of years.
Yes, I have I don't want to say mixed feelings. I'm pro AI in the sense that I like tools, I like efficiency, I like
Mhm.
technology. I saw yesterday the AI slop. I mean, this has been a few months coming, but like New York Times put out an article just a couple of days ago about this could go down a pretty scary path because of that Sora. It's
Mhm.
like a TikTok-esque video app, right?
Mhm.
And it's all AI, but it looks almost real.
So
And I think it's I want to say it's a neutral tool, just like money is a neutral tool, but maybe it's not neutral because what are we doing?
yeah,
Why can't we make our own video? Like, do I need to dub myself to make 60 clips to try to get more views on TikTok? For what?
for what? That's for what? For likes and views. For what? What's the purpose of that? Yeah.
The danger too, there's something called the dead internet theory. It's
Yeah,
sort of a conspiracy theory. You've heard this. Like a lot of people think that 99% of the internet is already bot activity.
right.
It's already dead.
Mhm.
So if most of the internet increasingly becomes AI slop, because if you think of the rate at which the content is being generated, it's not real content.
Mhm.
It's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy because it's
Mhm.
an LLM. So it has no actually original ideas or thoughts. So it gets diluted. The quality gets diluted over time. So then you get to the point where 9 out of 10 posts are AI
Mhm.
slop.
Mhm.
It's not creative. It's not funny either. There's no nuance.
Right.
Like I was driving down South Lamar here in Austin. It's ACL right now, Austin City Limits. And there was this banner waving and it had the tagline, which I hadn't seen before, but it said, a once in a lifetime experience twice a year. It's 2 weekends, they're back to back. But like, whoa, that's a great tagline. Obviously, a person wrote that. It's probably been around for years. AI has never written a cool, like nuanced, layered tagline like
Yeah.
that. It can't, it
Yeah.
doesn't think that way.
Yeah.
So then when you look at advertising and creative, it starts to get very flat. What are Super Bowl ads going to be when they're all AI done? You know, OpenAI this January, their whole ad on the Super Bowl was human created. The
Hmm.
OpenAI themselves didn't use AI for their ad.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's
For
what I think about it. I think
yeah.
like it's a neutral tool. Don't be a naysayer. Don't be like, I'm keeping my horse. You guys can go drive the car. But when it comes to content, I'm pretty careful like how much I use AI for. I don't do it for videos. Hell no.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you see a video of me, it's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm stickler on that.
Yeah. Technology, I mean, I think it's important that we all stay up to date on, evolving and everything. But I have questions too. I think like we all do with what are the goals? What's driving this massive growth, and then think about all of the centers that we need to support the energy that it takes to support this AI.
Sure.
I know like Northern Nevada, they're really concerned about, around the Reno area that this is going to just evolve into just like, factories supporting AI. It's killing nature and the water supply as well. And a lot of these are being built in states that have, a low water supply anyway. So there's a lot of pushback on that. And, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on how that's going to affect our environment long term as well.
Oh,
All these things that we
absolutely.
need to be considering. So,
Our species doesn't care, Brittany.
yeah.
Look, check the tape. Like, we don't care. You and I care. I'm doing my best here.
It's
Sometimes I
hard
don't
to
eat every day,
balance state because we don't want to be left behind. So it's hard to
Yeah,
balance, like, but it's all the ethical, we need ethical safeholds around it.
sure. But we've like rushed forward into this so quickly. You remember when ChatGPT hit? It was like a couple months, fall 2023, if I
Yeah.
recall.
Yeah.
And then within a month, we were looking at it and it was like it got to 1 million daily active users faster
Yeah.
than literally any other app ever, even
Yeah.
TikTok. So then we're all just jumping in and there is no like ethical safeguard regulations in every other industry, in the legal profession, in the medical industry. I would call it an industry, not a profession. There are safeguards and there's rules,
Mm-hmm.
ethics. Even
Mm-hmm.
for an RIA, what is a fiduciary?
Mm-hmm.
There are rules about what that means. I do what's in the best interest of the client, not getting a payback, a kickback, selling a product.
We don't have
Different
anything
from
like that for AI. We don't have
absolutely
any
not.
safe holds.
And I've been in the voice AI space for 10 years, believe it or
Yeah.
not. Like I remember going to the it was called the Alexa conference, and it became Project Voice. And there was like a list that came out, the Voice AI 100, looking back at the last 10 years. And I thought, like, wow, it's been 10 years. Um, and we were talking about ethics back then, and there was no consensus necessarily. There are some people trying to do the right thing. There's no governing body. We are a free market. We are a capitalist society, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have rules about seatbelts and cigarettes. You have to be a certain age to buy them and smoke them and pay big taxes on them.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually we'll have to regulate this. It will probably be too late. The internet will really be dead by then. I'm already like, gosh, I can't take this. The social media feed with the AI slap. Like,
The slop, I know. I wish there was a way to like filter it so you didn't have to consume
yeah, because
that
you
and you can
feel
just
your
have real
brain
human
melting.
videos. Correct. You do. I feel it. There was I came across these videos recently and it was just a bunch of videos of a grizzly bear coming up to these like a porch, different porches. It was the same concept and it was just video all meshed together of like a baby on a porch and a grizzly bear coming up and a cat runs out and like gets it to run away, scares the bear away. The first one looked so realistic, but then there's video after video and they're different porches, different scenarios, same thing happening though. And it's just like I don't yeah, what is the point of that, you know?
Well, kids have been watching cartoons, which is also like junk food that does nothing for them. Really bad cartoons, not Dora the Explorer, nothing educational. I mean, maybe it's not that different. Maybe it's just a modern version of the junk food we would consume,
Yeah.
both food and content in the 80s and the 90s.
We need
Um,
to preserve media like PBS, you know?
oh, and what you said about the environment, though, this is a tip. I don't know if everybody's aware, but the less that you thank ChatGPT, the better. Because every time you're like, thank you, it has to,
Because it
it
takes,
pollutes more just
yes.
to say you're welcome. It's like polluting the sky every time you're like, thank you, trying to be polite. Don't waste a single word.
I think we're all a
Efficiency.
little bit concerned of the eventual AI robotic.
Right. We want to stay on their good side.
We
I
want to
know.
stay on their good side. Yeah, I think everyone's just a
I've
little
I've
nervous
been
about
barking at
that.
Alexa for 10 years.
I
Like we're not friends. We have a love hate.
Yeah, same, same, same. And Siri as well for
Oh
me.
my gosh. More hate.
Yeah.
Poor Siri.
What is the unpodcast? I want to hear more about that.
Mm.
What is the unpodcast package?
So this is a package that we have at Beetle Moment Marketing, and it's an easy way to generate lots of high quality video clips for marketing purposes.
Okay.
So basically, I was producing long form podcasts, like we produced Tiger 21's podcast, and they're 45 minutes long. And I'm like, you know what? I noticed that what people do is they watch the clips and they rarely consume the entire long form thing. So the Unpodcast is a way where you can just show up on StreamYard, Riverside, something like this with an
Mhm.
expert producer. It's usually me. And I will get the best out of you. I will get all of these juicy little clips with good hooks where you're looking smart, sounding smart, being helpful, and it's targeted to exactly the pain point of your audience. So if you're wanting to be on video, but you're like, I don't know how to do it, I'm
Yeah.
not great on camera, I can make it easy for you. And then we just batch it. So you only show up for 4 hours total at the beginning, and you have 4 months of content like done
Brilliant.
for you in your sleep posted. And we use all these kind of cool, tricky methods that I've learned that are proprietary in the back end of like YouTube SEO and things
Mhm.
like that. So that yeah, you're going to be getting tens of thousands of not just views, but the right views.
Mhm. Mhm.
So beetlemoment.com/unpodcast. We have a case study there. We've worked with a lot of advisors on this. I think the thing that sets it apart from like, why don't I just go on Fiverr and have somebody do this for a cheap amount of money is the production and the guidance, the media training, the voice marketing
Mhm.
aspects of it.
Mhm. Mhm. And you're so personalized. And you say that everyone is a brand,
It's
right?
true. It's
So
true.
how do you develop yourself as a brand? How do you set yourself apart? How do you find your own voice?
It's hard to do with AI.
Mhm.
This is something I've been thinking about too. You have to think about, here's what I would say: start paying attention to what's going on in the news, in your industry, and form your own opinions. If
Mhm.
you pay attention for long enough, read books, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, and think about it, and you're going to start to have an opinion about things. That becomes your philosophy. What sets you apart as a brand is having an informed point of view. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be 100% different from everyone else just for the sake of being different, but you need to have a point of view. And I think also with the brand, authenticity is an overused word, but just like at the beginning of this conversation, you alluded to something about money beliefs. I don't know the story, but I'm sure maybe it's been told before. Or like my POV about marketing and the foundation of a brand and the importance of content. That is strung together over time. Some people say you should never give away content or value for free because if you give it for free, why would they pay you? That's the opposite POV that I have.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you have to like put that kind of stake in the ground and you will turn off some people. Don't be afraid of that.
Mhm. Do you feel that your views need to be a little more polarizing to get the clicks, to get the attention? Or is it more
Probably
just
on
about the delivery?
Yeah, I mean unfortunately what does get clicks is whatever's polarizing. And you don't have to be part of that, right?
Mhm.
Um the thing that helps too is remember that people just want solutions to their problems or certainty or time saving, especially when you're dealing with a
Yes.
business owner or an executive.
Mhm.
How can I make your life easier?
Mhm.
So, your personal brand is everything you put out should kind of harken back to whatever that vibe or value or thing that you're ultimately building and doing. There shouldn't be discordance.
Mm,
If you sound a certain way in person or on stage, but you have AI writing all of your social media posts and they sound really stiff and it's not you,
hmm.
discordance,
Yeah,
inconsistency
not
creates,
connecting with your audience. There's no connection there. Yeah.
yeah. Be careful with the AI stuff because the younger you are, if you haven't formed your POV yet and your brand is still in that malleable
Mm,
clay format, if AI starts forming that for you, you haven't really done the work for yourself and it won't be recognizable, unique, memorable. It will just blend into everything else. That's a warning about if you're young and you haven't really thought through how do I think of things and AI does it for you, you're not going to have one, a
yeah,
POV.
I agree with you. I feel that the way that we are evolving, authenticity is so crucial, and it's going to become even more important. People do want that connection. They want to feel seen. So authenticity is it's key. You know, they say that what do they say energetically, like love is the most powerful vibration, but the truth
Mm-hmm.
is they've measured it and it's actually authenticity. Authenticity.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you mean those experiments where
Energetically.
you give a plant love and it grows
Yes.
better? Yeah,
Yes.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yes.
It's all physics.
It is. Yeah. We're all energetic frequencies. So,
Yes, that
yeah.
is what a vibe is a vibe. It's from physics. All of it is measurable.
So find your authenticity. Stay true to yourself. It sounds so cliche, but it's true and there's science behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
If you're
what are
doing
your
something like with content and marketing, I think this is a good, like a litmus test. If it feels off or out of alignment, they can feel it. If you're
yeah,
out of alignment, other people can feel it because we have
yeah,
these mirror neurons. If I'm
yeah,
anxious, you're going to start to feel anxious when you're around me. It's
yeah.
actually Dr. Tara Swart. She was on Diary of a CEO and she this episode, she's like, stress is contagious. You could smell it.
Mm,
You
mm,
you know, hormonally, chemically, you pick up on stress like in a conference room.
mm-hmm.
And that's why when you walk in a room and the vibe's bad, it's like somebody's stress is in
Yeah,
the air
yeah,
or their anxiety. I think the same thing can come through your voice. I mean, I don't think it, I know it. The voice transmits that energy as well, the
mm-hmm.
breath, and then the body language
Yeah,
comes through on video.
yeah. This is why I love meditation because it is, and people, I know people struggle with do you meditate? Do you do
A
any sort
little
of,
bit. I'm
yeah.
not like you. I need to do better.
I mean, I think the thing about meditation is, you can always do better or,
Yeah.
but it's all about actually really just recognizing where you are. And I think like that actually it's a muscle. The brain is a muscle just like anything else. And you have to work on it and care for it. And so slowing down the mind, slowing down the brain and being in the present moment. And I think that is such a great way to stay centered and connected with your inner self. Through the years, as I've worked on my practice, I've become much better at listening to my body because your body will tell you, as you said, when something isn't right. When we say, oh, that gut feeling, I had a gut feeling that something was off. That's so true. Our gut is linked to safety and so that intuition is real. And so I think, yeah, my yoga and meditation practices helped me become a better listener and in tune with that. Do you have
I
anything
love that.
that you like to practice to stay aligned and
Mm.
self-tuned?
Well, working out of any kind of exercise, of course, is great. My favorite thing's rollerblading. That's
I
meditative for
love
me because
that.
I get in flow.
Rollerblading.
Yeah, I'm like a big rollerblader.
Oh
I
my
have always
gosh.
been.
So you
It's my
have like the
favorite form of
inline
movement.
skates, like the
Oh yeah.
actual with the
Oh yeah.
do you have the pad in the middle where you can like jump on a pole and do tricks and all
I
that?
don't do the tricks.
Yeah.
I just go straight
Yeah.
and I listen to my music. I go to the Veloway. It's this
Such a
perfect.
vibe.
It's a 3 mile loop through Texas Hill Country. It's a one-way track, only bikes and rollerblades allowed. That's my favorite place in Austin. And I've been doing this for my whole adult life. It's my favorite. It's like meditating for me.
Love it. What a vibe. I
Yeah.
love that.
I don't care if it's not popular. I actually like that no one else does it.
I love that.
So
I
it's a
love it.
great workout.
I was really into roller skating and rollerblading when I was a
I
kid.
could see that because you have the roller, like the Heather Graham roller girl. You could do
Oh
that for
my
Halloween
god! You
easily.
said that.
That was always the Halloween costume I wanted, but I couldn't logistically pull it off because
I
you're in roller
love
skates all night,
it.
depending what party
Yeah.
you're at. It's like,
Yeah. The key to that would actually be finding those shoes that have
oh, the kids have
rollerblades.
those with the little wheels. Yeah.
What are those called? I forget what those are called.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Shifting with the social media, I was wondering, what do you think about the algorithms? Do you feel that they are helping or hurting us right now?
They're they're hurting us. They're hurting kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're hurting my brain. They're making me stressed out. Like I don't even want to look at it a lot of the time. But on a business level, it's kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why. So I'm going to talk about the positives. Here's one positive. The algorithms, let's say YouTube, we'll just talk about that for now.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to surface new content that may not have a lot of followers or likes from unfound, unknown creators.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing because
Mm-hmm.
it gives a little bit more of an even playing field. If your content's good, you'll be rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
Almost meritocratic, right? Which
Yes.
is the opposite of old media. And I like that. I like that direction. It's not like we have 3 TV networks and commercials and programming that
Right.
is decided by a few guys in a room. It's like anybody can make it. And if it's good,
Mm-hmm.
you get rewarded.
Yeah.
Cool. On the flip side, the way that the algorithm on, let's say, LinkedIn or Instagram, especially Instagram, works
Mm-hmm.
is that the more adrenalizing the content, the longer the people engage, or
Mm-hmm.
the more that it stops the scroll. And it's literally like down to the millisecond measuring what is
Yes.
getting clicked, stopped, paused, anything is measured. So something adrenalizing or that has certain hooks is going to get rewarded, and it
Mm-hmm.
wants to keep you on the platform longer. These are not media platforms so much as they are advertising companies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's not all bad. You just have to know that. You
Yeah.
have to know that about it. The content for kids, like we've seen the rates of depression and self harm in teenagers skyrocket. It's all completely, we know that it's caused by social media. Jonathan Haidt, the anxious generation, he's doing the Lord's work talking about this, getting no phones before 13 or 16, it is in schools. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of the states, Australia, I think, has already instituted that. Great.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have this crazy drug in your hand when you're a child.
It's
It's a
true.
drug.
It really is. Yeah.
It rewires your brain. So as an adult, if you can handle it, cool. And it can help your business grow. Like both of my businesses, I didn't advertise. I've never spent $1 on advertising.
It's
It's
amazing.
content, social media, right? Um,
Well, when I started my
just
business
yeah.
in Ireland, I relied 100% I relied so much on social media. And I tried different marketing options as well. I went to radio, I tried, newspaper, and I tried like, the old school stuff. But then I just saw all of my growth coming from Instagram. And because I moved to Ireland, I didn't know anybody there, and I started a business. And so, yeah, I mean, that's how I got my name out there, was literally Instagram. What are some of your favorite social media apps? What are your favorite social media tools to use as far as for someone who's a small business who's just getting started? What do you feel are the best?
Instagram is really good for a small business. Let's say that you are a hairstylist or a plumber or whatever your business is. Maybe you're in marketing. It's a good way to reach people. And YouTube, I love YouTube. I've been on there since 2011. I wasn't always strategic or dedicated. Like there were years I didn't post anything, but
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is, I wouldn't even say a sleeping giant. Like YouTube has more time spent on it than any streamer, like more than Netflix. It's the top. That's where
Mm-hmm.
people are consuming the most content. And it
More
happens
than
on TV.
Netflix. I didn't, yeah,
Yeah.
more than Netflix. Yeah.
I'm almost sure. I
Yeah.
got to double check that stat,
That
but I think
actually
I
makes
saw.
sense. No, yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
YouTube is really powerful.
We all have it
If
on
you're
our
trying,
TVs now, so
yeah.
sometimes I'll
And
put it on. You're right. I'll put it on and not even think about it.
there are over 1 billion views a day on YouTube Shorts alone. And a lot of them happen on TV, not just mobile.
Yeah.
So it's an SEO play. Call it GEO, whatever. If SEO is an
Mhm.
old term in a year when someone's watching this, I'm just saying optimizing for
Yeah.
whether it's an AI search, a regular search, all of it. YouTube and Google. So YouTube's the
Mhm.
second largest search engine in the world. If you
Mhm.
have a business, depending what it is, try making a tutorial video about the number one pain point that your customer has. I don't know why this plumbing example I like. Let's say there's something that always goes wrong with a toilet
Yeah.
or the kitchen sink, and there's a way to solve it in a 90-second video. Make the video. Then
Yeah.
you're going to have so many people come to you when they have a more expensive problem. Like solve the little problem very easily, a DIY thing. And this could
Yeah.
be how to do your nails. It could be whatever your business is.
Yeah.
I don't know how to apply contour.
Yeah.
And then maybe you have a service that they send someone to your house to do your makeup. Like there's those apps where you get like the hair and the makeup that come to your door.
Yeah. Like the glam
So
squads and
yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
YouTube and Instagram, love. LinkedIn, yeah, for B2B. LinkedIn's for B2B. It's the place.
Yeah.
It's harder and harder to get found as a business or a brand. So if you can be the brand yourself as a person, you're going to have better luck. Nobody wants
Mhm.
to follow a company, rarely. You've
Yeah.
seen,
Again, the
like,
authenticity, the
yeah,
personal connection.
yeah. When
Yes.
I post anything on Emily, it always will do better than if I post it on Beetle Moment or Wealth Voice. Always.
People don't want to feel like they're being sold to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. What about TikTok? What are your thoughts on TikTok?
Okay.
I feel
Planet
like it's a
TikTok.
love or hate for people. People are either
I
all
like TikTok.
about it or they're not about it at all.
I like it. Is a different planet. It
Yeah.
has a different culture.
Yeah.
It's I love how Bethany Frankel described TikTok. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but she's like, so Instagram is the Marriott lobby. You're wearing a lanyard. You might have a wine. TikTok is the wild after party upstairs where there's somebody in nipple tassels. Everyone's being themselves. Anything goes. So like things happen in both of those parties, but Instagram's also like really judgmental.
I agree.
It's
Okay,
judgy.
what I feel like there's been such a massive shift also with Facebook. I don't even like I got to be honest, I for the longest time had the biggest and strongest following on Facebook. And I have been verified on Facebook, gosh, I mean, whenever the verifications started. So I didn't pay for it. It was before they changed all of
Mm.
that. But I can't get through and communicate to anyone. And I was using it for business. And the fact that I've been verified on there for so long. I have a very large following on my public Facebook. I have like over 500,000 people on there. I can't get through to anyone at Facebook at all. At all.
What do you mean?
For
For what? What are you trying to
years,
solve?
just my personal stuff. When I had a business before, I gave up 2 years. Like I've given up on trying
You
to.
mean the account is locked?
The account is I can log in. I can get on there. I can post stuff, but I can't monetize. I can't monetize,
What
which
do you mean
is
you can't monetize? What are you saying? Like your shadow banned?
somehow, yeah,
Like
like
there, no
on
one sees your
subscriptions
posts.
or anything. Yeah. So it's funny because I have subscriptions on Instagram. I make money off of Instagram. I use Instagram as a business. And Instagram's owned by Facebook. It's Meta. It's
Yeah.
all the same. And I cannot monetize on my Facebook, but I can on my Instagram. And I cannot get through to anyone at Facebook. I've tried for 2 years now. I've tried to reach
Terrible.
out to them, and it is impossible to communicate with
Yeah.
Facebook now. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know if they have anybody even working there anymore.
They have the
I've,
office
I've
downtown here in Austin. I've been to lunch there. They have people in the building.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know.
kind of like, it's sad. I've kind of just like let go of Facebook, and I have such a great
Damn.
following on there, but it's impossible to monetize on it. And I don't know. I can't figure out why. That's my personal frustration with social media, is building such a strong following and having it on a platform, and you're relying on it. With your business is reliant on it, and then something changes suddenly with that
Sure.
app,
Yeah.
and then your whole business is tied up into that.
This happened
So,
when it was like Q1 with the TikTok ban, when there was like the
mhm,
3-day shutdown of TikTok and
mhm.
people were losing it
Yeah.
for various reasons. But that I did a podcast episode around that time, which was about like owning your own turf. I'm not the first person that said this, but we all hate email, but you got to build an email list because
Yeah.
anything could happen with these algorithms, like your Facebook page,
Yeah.
TikTok could get shut down. Anything could happen. You have to
That
be
is a
not
fear.
only on multiple, you have to build your email list, or maybe it's like SMS, but you have to own a direct communication route. Assume that at any
To
point,
protect
like
your
any tech
audience.
company,
Yeah.
anything could happen. There could be a cyber attack. The
Mhm,
CEO could be in a sex scandal. Like, who knows? Any company can go. This
mhm,
is why we don't do hand picking stocks too. Nothing
mhm,
is
mhm.
predictable. Own your own destiny. Have an email list. Be building that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the solution there. It's like your insurance, your hedge.
So is that your advice on how to best protect your audience? Sending
Yeah,
them
I mean,
back to your own website, your own,
yeah.
because I notice you have your business website, your own website. Like you said, you get better traction on your personal one. So do you feel everyone should be building out their audience to their own like perhaps like platform, their own.
Yeah, do social media because you're going to have more exposure in the feed than you would. It's rare. Like, sure, there's beehives and Substacks. There's some people that have really great email newsletters that have high open rates, high engagement.
Mhm.
Still be doing social media, but be building your own email list in the meantime. What that might look like is if you have, I hate to say it, but like a downloadable, a PDF, or some kind of digital product or thing, and
Mhm.
just grab the email list. It's funny because years ago I said, don't do this, but I've changed my mind about it.
Mhm.
Um, because I've seen these platforms, there's a ban, the algorithm changes. This happened overnight with like the Panda algorithm update years ago. And so many small businesses who were on page 1 of Google, then suddenly on page 30 because the
Mhm.
algorithm changed overnight. And that's where they were getting all their traffic from. So you have to just have backup plans and don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
You with TikTok, you've seen the creators after this ban, they were like, "Hey guys, if you need to, make sure you're following me elsewhere because we don't
Yeah.
know what will happen. Here's my handle on the other places."
What's your
You have to,
favorite way, like what would be your favorite like CRM platform, or like to do that to protect your audience?
good question. The one that I'm using right now, I'm not happy with. It starts with an M and it's named after a monkey.
Uh-oh.
Uh, Having some issues with that ever since they were acquired by Intuit. Like the customer support has it's not what it used to be. And it's just I think for some people it works. I have issues with my RSS feeds. I've got different things going on, WordPress, Squarespace. But like what do people like? HubSpot. People like HubSpot. I think that one's pretty solid. I haven't
Mhm.
been using it for years.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then, there's Stan, STAN. Stan, there's Substack, of course, there's Beehive for email newsletter. People like those.
Mhm. Mhm.
This chimp though, like,
Yeah.
all the Intuit products are terrible right now, Brittany. QuickBooks, terrible. Small business owners, they keep raising the price. The UX is bad. They're always serving ads. It's like, remember when you used to use mint.com for your financial
Mhm.
dashboard,
Mhm.
right? And it was all like ad ridden, eating your data, molesting your
Yeah.
data, as Scott Galloway says. It's like the same thing's happening on Intuit.
I will say we use HubSpot, and good good feedback on HubSpot. I like HubSpot. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
HubSpot.
now. Yeah.
You can tell, and isn't it the guys that do My First Million? Aren't they like the founders of HubSpot or
That's a good question.
invest
I'm not
Sha-
sure.
Shane, Shane and Sam? Um, Anytime there's a company where the founders are visible,
Mhm.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know who's running Intuit.
Mhm.
I've never heard from their CEO.
Again, it's that personal connection, right?
Somebody's hiding. Like, remember when John Legere was the CEO of T-Mobile and he was all over Twitter and
Yeah.
he's like, everything's pink, we're having a party. And you're like, I love T-Mobile, even though it was like the Kia of
Yeah.
phone service.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't a
Yeah.
cool, like, deluxe brand. I mean, like, what's deluxe? But you're like, I'm going to go with John. I'm not going with AT&T.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah.
It's like my grandpa's phone, which I now have, by the way.
Yeah. Speaking of AT&T, I saw this morning that there was a massive data leak. So if you are any of our listeners with AT&T, you should definitely look into that. I know that there is, I believe it's a class action lawsuit that's going on. So definitely apply and make sure that you are one of the people that was not affected by that. If you are a listener or you, Emily, are with AT&T, I have a
Good tip.
personal bad experience with AT&T from a few years ago. So I will be Verizon for life.
I should go over to
So
Verizon.
yes,
I was
I
trying to get
prefer
good.
Verizon. I have everything on Verizon now too, and I save so much money actually with my internet and everything on Verizon. So yeah,
Okay, well, Verizon,
yes.
inquire within to
Little,
sponsor the
little
pod.
plug. I know. Yeah. Hey, Verizon, sponsor me. So I have just a couple more questions for you. Thank you so much again for taking the time to chat here. So I know your time is money. Time is money. So
Time's money.
um your phrase the CEO and the janitor. Please tell me more
Hmm.
about that. That really caught my eye.
Oh, the CEO and the janitor. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what I did the first year or two of Wealth Voice. I was wearing all the hats. What
Mm-hmm.
that meant, I wasn't really cleaning up because I didn't have an office space, but it's just when you're a lean startup and you're doing everything and you have like no or very few employees, and it was exciting and fun, but I did get exhausted. And
Mm-hmm.
then I hired some help when I could. I kept it really lean though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't want to spend money on employees at first until I could validate the concept and have revenue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to hire anyone until I have revenue. I have a different view on startups than a lot of people. Like, I
How
would never
so?
take investors and money before I had revenue. In this day
Okay.
and age, there is no reason that you should need investors to build something. Like, in the last 2 years with AI, with vibe coding, you can build an MVP very affordably.
Mm-hmm.
When I did this in 2020, it was far more expensive than if I did it today. And I
Mm-hmm.
still got it done at a level that I could bootstrap it and then prove the concept and start making money. Like, that company
Mm-hmm.
was in the black in the first month.
Yeah.
So, because I did it pretty affordably. Now, whoa, it would be way easier now, even
Yeah.
more so.
Yeah.
So, CEO, janitor, yeah, like cleaning up messes that were below my pay grade all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then getting to a place where learning what would be the most important to delegate first. And yeah.
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 Uh, Hiring is tough. It's it's the most
Especially
important
as a
thing though.
startup because you really need
Yeah.
people that you trust. And it's business, but a startup, I mean, everyone's got to kind of do a little bit of everything, you know?
Sure, sure.
So,
It's a fun thing to do when you're young. I think startups are a young person's game in ways.
hmm
Like, do you remember that app Quibi? That app, it was
I
like
don't
a little TV network, Quibi with a Q.
Yes,
It
yes,
was like for 6 months, it was going to be, and it was
yes,
purple.
yes.
Okay, but
I
they
remember
had,
that.
right, this was, I remember, like 7 years ago or something, but the CEO or president or somebody they brought in to run, they were like in their 60s, all like two or three of them lead. And it's this
Mhm,
startup that's trying to take on like YouTube TV. And I
mhm,
just remember thinking, much like a president needs to be young, this
mhm,
is a grueling job.
mhm, mhm.
Why do we have old people running this thing that you should be getting 4 hours of sleep a night
Yeah, yeah.
to do this correctly?
Emily, you have been fantastic. Is there any advice that you have for entrepreneurs that, small businesses getting started? Any resources, advice, podcast, books, Anything that you can give us for them to feed their minds?
Hmm. Yes. So I have some videos on my YouTube channel about tactical things, which like how to file an LLC. There's
Mm-hmm.
some stuff if you need tactical help on that.
Mm-hmm.
Strategically or philosophically, I would say if you believe in your idea, that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know in your gut and in your heart if you're onto something and if
Mm-hmm.
it's aligned with you. And then you can do it. Be careful who you tell about it and don't announce it. Don't announce anything. Keep it under your hat until you're really ready. Because when you have an idea and it's like an infant, it's in a fragile state. You need to be careful like who's the babysitter? Am I leaving them home alone with somebody I don't even know? It's
Mm-hmm.
fragile. So protect it. And
That's
you have
great.
to protect your own mental your attitude and your motivation and all that, which it's very vulnerable at the point when you're starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tempting to go out and be like, guys, guess what, I'm starting, oh, here's my logo, do you like, it's my swag. Wait a year, wait till we have revenue coming in. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's so, I've had this happen where I'm like, I have a really good idea, I want to go tell my friends, like, do you guys think this would work? And
Mm-hmm.
I went and bought the URL of this other new business that I thought I was going to do. And I talked to somebody and she was like, I know you really well. I don't think it's right. And it did deflate my balloon a little bit. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have talked. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to trust yourself, like
That's true.
block out the noise, block out the social media, just like
Mhm.
burrow into a hole and build the thing, do the thing. When it's fragile, protect it early on.
That's great advice. I do have to ask you your favorite alt. We are, as you know, Bonrian Capital is specializes in alternatives. So, what would be your favorite alt to invest in? What do you think we should be paying attention to right now?
Bitcoin. I'm
Bitcoin.
going to Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Brittany.
Yeah.
So I've been in Bitcoin since 2016 and I have it on cold storage at this point. I was a victim of the FTX fraud
Mm,
disaster with SBF,
yes.
and I was a victim of the BlockFi disaster. However, I had just recently gone to cold storage before that all happened. So like I was able to save most of it, which
Mm-hmm.
having, I guess you could call it not dollar cost average,
God.
but bought in at price points over the years since 2016, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
up.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a good chunk of my net worth in Bitcoin. I still believe in it. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a crazy like maximalist with
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't have the red eye avatar, but yeah, that's my alt. I'm not going to pretend that I could speak to things I don't know about. I know
Yeah.
about Bitcoin
Yeah.
though.
I went to the Bitcoin conference earlier this year. It was a very eclectic group of people, fantastic time, and I learned so much. I finally have bought some Bitcoin myself. I got late into the game, but I'm in it. And so talk to us about cold storage and the
Hmm.
importance of that.
So the entire idea of cryptocurrency is that it is decentralized.
Mm-hmm.
So you own it. There's no governing body, there's no bank. It's yours. If you were in a fire and all of your possessions burned, your house, your clothes,
Mm-hmm.
your dollars, you could go to an island and start over with just that 12 seed phrase that unlocks your cryptocurrency anywhere in the world. Great. At the same time, with great power comes great responsibility. When you're on cold storage, if you lose that seed phrase, there is nobody coming to save you. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye. So you own your own destiny in all ways.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of something like a Coinbase, an exchange that gets people's foot in the door who they may not be technical enough to do the cold storage thing. I do have a video on YouTube about how to set up the Trezor cold storage wallet. You could do Ledger. Ledger's actually better. But I went to cold storage because I kind of wanted to figure out how to do it. And I wanted to own the complete experience of my crypto because I had gone through BlockFi freezing quite a lot of my assets. It was Bitcoin and ETH. You should try to go to cold storage if you can like watch my video and it doesn't scare you and you can do it. Great. Coinbase is pretty safe, but none of this, it's not FDIC insured. It's not a bank.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we saw what happened with first it was Mt. Gox and then there was FTX.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything can happen.
so you have to own it yourself on your own cold storage on your, it's a drive, but it's really the seed phrase. Because if the drive blows up in a fire, you could still get to the crypto if you have the seed phrase. And
Mhm.
by the way, this also is a kind of a delicate thing. Like, do you write it down?
I
You
know.
shouldn't. You really, or
And
if you do, like,
forget,
you have to. It's a treasure hunt. It's like
yeah.
you write a few words in this place, and the other words are in another
Mhm.
place, and nobody knows. But then if you get amnesia, then what? So then you need to figure out a way with like your advisor, your wealth.com account, to give hints about what the words could mean
Yeah.
without saying what they are. But you're like a hint that you. Okay, so crypto is really cool as far as alts. I think the safe rule people say, like advisors say, it shouldn't be more than 10% of your net worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like the core and explore.
Yeah.
It should be an amount of money that if it went to zero, you wouldn't want to die.
So good. Yeah. 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 Well, thank you so much, Emily. It's just, you've given us a wealth of knowledge, so much to take away from this
You're welcome.
episode. You've been fantastic. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to chat with us. So yes, be authentic. Check out Emily's website. Do you want to share with our listeners where they can find you and follow you?
EmilyBinder.com. My handle is at Emily Binder everywhere. Everything's there. And you can find me on YouTube. I've got a podcast, emilybinder.com/podcast, called Voice Marketing with Emily Binder. It's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, everywhere. You can check out my marketing company at beetlemoment.com. That's Beetle with 2 E's. That's enough.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening to this episode. And we will see you next time on The Alternative Mason. Thank you so much.
The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or any specific security. It is only intended to provide education about the financial industry. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your financial advisor prior to investing. Any past performance discussed during this program is no guarantee of future results. Any indices referenced for comparisons are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. As always, please remember investing involves risk and possible loss of capital. Please seek advice from a licensed professional.